American Red Cross exists to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies, providing critical aid to communities in need.
Communications Director Connie Esparza joins us now to share how you can support the mission of the Red Cross. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here today.
We're talking about it. Sounds like so many people, they hear Red Cross, they just think blood drives, but there's so much more to the organization.
There is, and as I was just sharing, we are in constant response of home fires here across the greater Chicago and across the state of Illinois. And one of the biggest things is, we're so grateful for our volunteers who time and again, regardless of the time of day, time of year, they're showing up for our neighbors. And that's the biggest ask today is be a volunteer, share your time and your talents with us, and make sure that nobody faces their worst day alone.
So people can understand what they're signing up for. What does a volunteer end up doing? How do they spend their time?
There are a variety of different roles, and sometimes, I've even talked to people who are like, I don't know that I can do that. I don't know that I can get up in the middle of the night and respond to a home fire. But we have roles behind the scenes. We have roles that don't require you to go anywhere. Think of it as, we rely on our volunteers. They're 90% of our workforce. And just think of it, right? We need human resources. We need technology. We need logistics. We need operations. So if you have a passion or you have a background for any of that work, in addition to professional backgrounds as well. We have nurses, we have mental health, we have spiritual care, we have medical doctors who lend their time to make sure that when we respond, we have a volunteer there who can talk to someone through with spiritual care, with mental health, with health services.
You mentioned house fires here in the Chicagoland area. Is that the biggest thing you respond to here? And then what are some of the other big things that you respond to all over the world?
Across the country, we respond to about 60,000 disasters a year. Most of those are home fires, unfortunately. Really? Here in greater Chicago, that is the majority of our response. But we are also there when people experience flooding, tornadoes, building collapses, any type of disaster. Most likely, the Red Cross volunteers will be there.
Wow. Tell us a little bit more about what you do. Unfortunately, we had a home fire, and yes,
so sorry.
Red Cross. Thank you. It's been a while, but thank you. But the upside was Red Cross was there, Johnny on the spot, and I was not aware. So because I'm learning, I'm sure everyone else at home would learn. Tell us what you do when you respond to a home fire.
That is not uncommon. That people aren't aware of all of the things that the Red Cross does in an emergency like a home fire. Immediately after, Red Cross volunteers show up, make sure that you have a safe place to stay. And after that is, if needed, we'll set up a shelter depending on the number of people that have been displaced. But we are there for immediate needs. What did you leave behind?
I mean, toothpaste, toothbrush, clothing, blankets,
medicine,
vouchers,
assistive devices, walkers, wheelchairs. So we've got volunteers who jump into action to make sure that all of those immediate needs are met. Long term, though, long after that incident is out of the news, volunteers are still working with those folks on their road to recovery because we know that recovery it's not overnight.
Yeah,
it's very emotional.
Long time. Yeah. Also, since you're so synonymous with blood drives, is that still something people can do and can reach out to find where to donate blood?
Absolutely. We host blood drives, and we have blood donation centers across the region, and you can probably find an appointment that is convenient to you any day of the week. redcrossblood.org if you're so inclined. But again, I make the invitation if you are able to volunteer your time, if you can make a donation to help us help people recover, or donate blood.
Yeah, that is amazing. Do you have any big events coming up?
We are always hosting big events. You can find us at marathons. You can find us, hosting fundraisers, but also celebrating our volunteers as well. We check us out online. We are always, or follow us on social media. We're always in need of volunteers to help support any one of the events that we host.
Is there any time of year where the need is greater for volunteers and or blood donations?
There used to be a time where you could say this is home fire season, and typically it was during the winter.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, that is not the case anymore. We're seeing our volunteers responding to disasters on a continual basis. And some neighborhoods here across greater Chicago don't have the volunteer response team that we would like to see. And so that is their big ask right now. And if you see us out in neighborhoods at certain events, it's most likely because we want to connect with you to make sure that we have representatives in those neighborhoods to help those folks that are impacted by a disaster.
Just so people know, you do train them.
We do. There is a long, depending on the job that you'd like to do, there are circumstances where you can just show up for one event here and there, or you can be a longer-term volunteer, and there's specialized training depending on what role you're going to play out.
Fantastic. Connie, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
For more information, call the number that you see there on your screen. Visit redcross.org, or, of course, follow them on the socials.